Welcome to Silver Linings, where we will talk about life, love, and how to cultivate positivity, happiness, wellness, and beauty within you and in your life. I am Dina, and I look forward to bringing communication and tips on relationships, communication, mental wellness, and personal empowerment.
Hi, and I'm Lynn, and I look forward to bringing awareness on health and wellness topics and education around lifestyle choices and changes.
And hello, I'm Diane, and I will bring inspirational beauty, fashion, and sleep tips.
And collectively, we are bringing our skills, our passions, our talents to you and to help you always see the positive silver linings in life. And it is February, and February is the month of love. And I feel that one great topic is about making sure we focus on ourselves. So let's talk about self-love.
Lynn, you have a great way to talk about self-love. Go ahead.
Well, you know, I really think that you really have to tune into your gut instinct about how you're feeling. Because if you're not in tune with yourself, then you're feeling off. And when you're feeling off, it's really hard to love yourself or anyone, right?
Mm-hmm. And I think the whole COVID experience that we've all been going through definitely has brought me to more self-love for myself, because it gave me time to have that reflection and then realize that I needed to also honor myself. And that honoring of myself has been my true love for myself. I feel better than I've ever felt through this COVID experience. And again, silver linings. I mean, COVID has been a silver lining for me and a lot of people.
But I think in general, self-love is a consistent thing that we are doing for ourselves all the time. I think it's something that we're always in some sort of transformation and some sort of transition on self-love.
Yeah, it's a daily check-in, I think.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. If you're not checking in with yourself daily and making those little adjustments, you can really lose sight of yourself. And I love, Diane, how you said you had, you know, that silver lining on the reflection of going inward and really checking in with yourself and finding out what was important. Because if we don't do what's truly important, taking those minutes for ourselves, those minutes add up to so much.
Right. Even those moments to just decompress. And you know, something certainly that I see with a lot of people is in regards to self-love, is people have so much love for so many other people, their family, their children, significant others, and they still may not have enough self-love for themselves. So I think it's just so important that we really start paying attention to how do we talk to ourselves. How kind and compassionate are we to ourselves? Because there is definitely that old saying of, you know, speak to yourself as if you're someone you love. I think it's just a beautiful topic for us to focus on to open our very first show on the month of February, which is about love. And some people feel down because they may feel I'm not in a relationship. Well, yes, you are. You're in a relationship with yourself. And bring that self-love to you in whatever way makes you feel good, brings you joy, happiness. Because you are the foundation of any relationship that you are in. So we wish you all self-love. One huge thing that helps foster self-love is self-care.
Couldn't agree with you more on that one.
Yes, I mean, self-care is huge. And it's something that a lot of people, especially women, don't always think about. And I want to just share 3 myths that I hear so often with self-care, specifically women. One is it's selfish. to give yourself self-care. And certainly I have to say it's the exact opposite. It is self-love to give self-care. It is not selfish. And very often I might hear people say, well, I'm taking time away from my family. I'm taking time away from my kids. And that makes it selfish. And the exact opposite is we need to nourish. We need to
Makes us better for our family.
de-stress.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because when we are more full and, less stressed, we can handle things that come our way so much better.
Absolutely.
So that's one myth that I absolutely want to debunk.
And I have definitely felt that way. You've got to remind yourself.
The guilt factor. Oh, yeah. I shouldn't be doing this. I should be doing cleaning or cooking or, spending
Something
time.
for somebody.
Yeah.
And realize that with this, as we all know in our lives, is if we don't schedule some time for us, something else will come in its place.
Always.
And it's often something that quote unquote needs to be done, not that we want to do.
Yep.
So the second myth that I hear a lot too that's so important is people believe that self-care costs money. That self-care always has to be something elaborate.
Yeah, that people say, I can't afford it, right?
Yes, and self-care can be free. It is free to walk in nature. Mm-hmm. It is free to sit in your yard and sit in the sun.
Oh, yeah.
It's free to, if you're near a beach, being able to take your chair and go sit on the beach. It's free to, read a book, have a cup of tea.
Yeah. Give yourself a foot massage. I mean, I have peppermint oil, and I love to just take my foot and just massage it and just be with myself for a moment. And I don't do it enough, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I have the stuff and I should be doing it more.
Taking a break to just have some downtime, close your eyes and take a 15-minute nap. Mm-hmm. It's so rejuvenating. And when you're done, you're you are
absolutely
more
are.
productive
Yes.
and more rested and better off for it.
That's
Exactly.
right. Absolutely. And for me, I love meditation. I just find it very grounding, and it just helps me to feel more centered for my day and whatever I need to do. And again, just taking those increments of time in between appointments and giving myself more time for lunch, like all those things it may seem so small, but they really are big. And then the third thing that I hear often is there's no time. I don't have time for self-care. I have too much to do. Well, that statement in its essence means you need self-care.
And I need self-care. I'll tell you, I'm one of the ones that always busy. And you do, like you said, schedule it in.
Yes.
If it's scheduled in there, then I look at that and I'm like, it's time for my meditation now. And then I do it.
I do the unscheduling. If you don't overschedule yourself, you're definitely assured for that self-care time.
And that's what I'm getting better at. I'll be honest about that too.
Yes.
Overscheduling myself, yes.
Absolutely. When this transition with COVID happened, I've decreased the number of people that I will see in a day. And that to me was huge.
Right.
Where before I, would sometimes do 8 or 9 if I needed to, appointments in a day. Now I'm doing 6. And it really is helpful. So, especially when you're looking at a screen all the time, it's a little more tiring. So you got to take care of yourself. We definitely encourage you to hopefully choose something that maybe resonated for you today or gave you some idea for some creativity to bring into your home. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dina. That was awesome.
Thank you, Dina.
I love that we're here on our first episode wearing our red today. It's National Go Red, or is it Wear Red? Do we know?
I thought it was Go Red.
Go Red.
I think it's Go Red.
It's Go Red. It's Go Red for women.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And do you want to know why?
Why?
It's really all about heart health awareness. Heart Health Awareness Month is in the month of February, and it's been that way since I think well, it's like been 55 years. Can you, I mean,
Wow.
like my age. I know it's like crazy. But the stigma around heart health is, I don't know, the awareness I think is important, but the fact that cardiovascular disease, and I know, you know, people think, oh, well, there's a lot of other things out there. Cardiovascular disease kills more women than any other disease out there. Did you guys know that?
No, I did not.
So
Wow.
to bring awareness is key, but I think to bring some solutions to it, I think is even more.
Yeah.
So I think honoring this to wear red and bringing, you know, the fact that we can wear this color as women today on our first show is like really special, right?
Yes.
So being that this is, you know, such an issue for women, I just wanted to bring some, you know, we should always know our numbers. And what do you mean know our numbers? Well, we should all know, like, well, is our blood pressure in normal range? 120 over 80 used to be the normal range. Now they really like it a little bit lower than that. What is our cholesterol? Does everyone know what HDL is? You know, the good cholesterol, and does everyone know what LDL is, the bad cholesterol? Do people know what triglycerides are? You know, they should really know their numbers and know where they are, because those are controllable risk factors. And if those are elevated, there are things you can do to try to bring those in check. Other controllable risk factors are, I must check my notes here because I don't want to miss any of them. If you're a smoker, sedentary lifestyle, we talked about movement in our earlier segment, and I think that, you know, definite moving and not being sedentary is important. And I'm not talking about going out and running a marathon.
Right.
Just getting out and moving, walking around the block, getting up periodically out of your chair, stretching, and just not being sedentary. So important. Making sure your BMI is not in the overweight or obese category, really important too. That's another number you really need to be in check. And not being a diabetic, if you can control that at all. These are all very, you know, adding them together are heavy risk factors. Things that you can't control that you know, put you in risk factors are as you age. Your gender can put you in a higher risk factor, but nowadays I think men and women can be in very similar risk factors depending on the other ones, the controllables. Hereditary, you know, if you have family members that have suffered cardiovascular incidents, right? You know, like strokes and heart attacks, things like that. And your race. A lot of minority races are at higher risk. And previous, of course, if you had that. So what do we do about that? Well, of course, me being the person who really is in tune with wellness, I brought this lovely basket here to show you some of the
And it looks so
foods.
pretty, Lynn.
It does.
I just cut these off of my tower garden this morning, and these are
they look so green.
leafy greens are one of the main foods you should eat. And you know, the standard American diet is called SAD for one reason, because it's sad.
Kind of sad.
But we should really be filling our plate with more fruits and vegetables than anything else. We eat twice as much protein as we should in this country. People are just protein fixed and fixated, and it's not necessary. It really isn't.
Another thing during COVID, I made a garden. Like a garden, I have not done a garden since, I don't know, 15 years ago or something. And it was so fun to go pick my own kale and pick my own tomatoes and dig in the dirt. There was something, again, self-care,
Yeah,
you know, relating it back to
absolutely.
that. Silver lining. COVID silver lining gave me the time to make a garden.
Digging in the dirt is one of the healthiest things you could do for yourself.
And even your microbiome.
You read my mind.
I did?
You did. I was just thinking that. That's going to be in a whole other episode. The
Yes,
microbiome.
yes.
But not nuts.
Do you want me to help you?
Oh yeah, we could just tilt this up.
Because there's so many beautiful, good things in here.
I don't know if you can see or not, there's red raspberries too.
So we have berries, we have green tea, we have an avocado, which has a very good fat in there.
And there's lots of them right now, and they're cheap. Go get avocados.
We have chia seeds, chia and hemp seeds, really, really good. Garlic, olive oil. We have whole grains, which I put in there some quinoa, but you can do brown rice. And I said walnuts and almonds, and then the berries. I loaded it with berries, but the
tomatoes.
You know, the tomatoes are high in lycopene, and we have resveratrol and sylvestrol in the berries, and omega-3s. So all of this is really good for you. So what do you stay away from? Well, you stay away from processed foods. If you're staying away from processed foods, for the most part, you're going to be okay. And just try to eat more plant foods. More plant foods, less animal, and you're going to be okay. You know, I think everyone gets the message here that you know, all of this is, we've kind of come full circle on, you know, making good decisions for your health, because we love everyone out there and we want you to be around. So know your numbers, make good choices. We're here to support you, and take good self-care.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Yay! Awesome. Hey, so we just had a great conversation about heart health, and we last touched on the fact that stress really can take its toll on your health. And we have here Suzanne McColl, and she is a licensed therapist, and she has come to really talk to us about the nitty-gritty of relationships. And relationships certainly have taken some ups and downs in the last year or so due to many different reasons. Don't know what those could be. So I'm going to let Suzanne take it away.
Oh, thank you so much. It's really nice to be here with everybody. And yes, relationships have become the central focus in all of my work with my clients, and mainly that's because in 2020 we've been home. COVID. We've been on lockdown basically, and so the normal kind of distractions that we might have had before are just not happening. So the relationships are front and center. And because of all the stress in our lives that you've been talking about, whatever the issues are, it kind of overflows a lot more easily now. So, you know, we tend to, I don't know what, you know, I'm going to throw this out for you, with you guys, but like, I think that one of the things I've seen is that people tend to expect the people in your life to know what you're thinking. Like, if you say something, you expect them to kind of know what you really mean by that.
Right.
It's not really what you say, it's what you mean, right?
Guilty.
Yeah, I've done it.
With my husband
Sometimes.
all the time. All the time.
At times.
Yeah, sometimes.
Raise your hand if you were guilty.
I think we're all guilty at some point in time.
And you know, we're getting to know, like, what amount of time do I need for myself? What amount of time does my partner need? You know, and it's not always the same.
You know, it's funny that you say that, because I think we've naturally just gone through that process, but it wasn't easy to start with.
No.
It wasn't. It was like, same thing, like, what are we going to have for dinner? Are we going to have dinner together tonight? Or maybe we don't want to. Like, really, because you're seeing each other every day you know, and that wasn't always the way before.
No, and everybody processes things differently. We've seen that. Somebody says, well, we haven't spent any time together, and the other person's like, what are you talking about?
I'm with you day and night.
I never get to go anywhere else.
So what's your best relationship tip?
Yes.
So the best thing is communication, really. First of all, you have to know yourself. Like, you have to know what you're going through, what your needs are.
How do people do that?
You really need to take time. You really need to stop and think, how do I feel today? I think a daily check-in when you get up in the morning is, and not even just in the morning, but maybe a few times a day. Just stop ask yourself how you're feeling, and ask yourself, what do I really need? Okay, so then you can be more direct. You can communicate better. You know, starting with like, I'm feeling like this. Could we do this? It would make me feel really like this. Like, really, that's kind of assertive communication. Relationships take work. You know, it's not just that you're spending time together, working, making the meals, whatever, doing the daily grind. You have to like think about what could be a good quality time. Like, just do something that you think would be fun, and maybe your partner wants to do something that you don't necessarily like doing, but you know, do it. Just, you know, let them know that you're listening and you're going to try it. You can have like a daily check-in with your spouse too. Like, how are you doing today? What do you know, what was good about today? What was bad about today? What do you really think would be important to do tonight for you? I mean,
We do that.
Yeah.
We do that too.
Yeah. I
Do
love
you?
that conversation.
Yeah.
It's you know, the ability to connect.
And then also like give each other space.
Yeah, we
like
do that too.
say, let's come back. Let's circle back to this tomorrow. I always tell people it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Yes.
You know, your husband, your children. They're not your enemies. They are on your team. So like, just kind of look at it that way. And if we're not getting to something right now, give it a little time. Give it some breathing room. Go do your own thing for a little while.
People out there that I've heard are struggling.
Yeah.
The statistics, I understand, are not really good on domestic violence and things that are happening. So
there are places, and like,
What would you say? How can somebody reach out if they're
if
in?
you call 211,
Okay.
and tell them that you're having, you know, problems with your relationship, maybe you have some fear, they will send you directly to the phone number and the organization. I think it's called the Umbrella Organization that has a domestic violence whole service and helps
That just
people
breaks my heart when
completely.
I hear that some people may have problems, and where do they go? Right now they're stuck in the house, you know, with somebody that maybe.
And there's also, I think there's posts that you can do on Facebook that you're also someone that they can call as well. But you know, if you're a friend or a neighbor or something too.
Well, maybe encourage them just to reach out to. If they don't want to call the 211, maybe they just need to reach out to
have
a friend.
some encouragement.
Yes,
to have some
definitely
encouragement.
Have a friend or somebody that they can talk to. But it's very hard. Sometimes talking to somebody more anonymous is easier.
Yes, I agree.
Because, you know, there's so much that goes along with that. Like not thinking it's their fault, they could have done something different, when that's not true at all.
And not all our friends are good listeners.
Right.
Yeah, and I think another piece that comes into it for a lot of people is they don't want anyone to judge their significant other negatively.
Right.
Because of what information they may share.
Yes.
So doing it more anonymously and with someone who's not emotionally involved is definitely a benefit, and that's where I think 211 is a great option.
Absolutely.
When someone really feels the need that they need to reach out for some help.
And if they don't have a therapist is absolutely a really good idea, because it helps them to strengthen themselves and
maybe sort out situations or inaccurate beliefs.
Right. Yeah. Like not feeling they deserve to be loved, or maybe it's their fault. Those are totally inaccurate. Everyone deserves to be loved, and any kind of violation or violence like that is never okay.
No.
So, I mean, and all this kind of stuff can happen with relationships. They're complicated.
And then one beautiful thing, though, like, you know, you have kind of highlighted too, is that in 2020, it's also allowed people to really get to know each other a little more. And some people have really said, I picked well. I picked well.
Nice.
Because, you know, we're getting along, and I know I did. And, you know, and I'm very grateful and thankful for that. And, you know, I just feel like that's something else that has emerged through this, is people really realizing that when their relationship is good, there may be ups and downs, but overall their relationship is good.
Yeah.
And it's kind of brought a focus back to, you know what, we can work through the little things because the main things are solid, the main things are good. And I think that's a silver lining that has really also emerged being together so much, is realizing where we need to work on things and where we're solid.
Exactly. That's so important. And so many of my clients in the beginning of the pandemic were like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be with my husband the whole time. And after 6 months, 9 months, they're saying, you know what? It's really all working out.
I kind of like
good.
him. I know.
Yeah, you kind of love it. You like it.
I kind of like him.
So moving forward makes it so much
Yeah.
easier when you can check that box. I mean, like, seriously, it's a big deal.
So, you know, now that we're kind of hopefully moving out of the COVID-19 lockdown, I know we still have some time to go, but we're starting to look forward to that. What I'm kind of hoping is that, you know, we've all learned new ways of interacting with our partners and our friends, new things about ourselves.
Yes.
Maybe learn hobbies that we never did before.
Gardening.
Right? Found more ways to rely upon ourselves. And that we'll be able to kind of maintain those new patterns once we start getting out and our lives are busier. That we might realize we need to take more time. We don't have to be so busy, and then we might be able to keep, focusing on our relationships a little bit more and what a priority they are. I think that everybody's learned that. So, and if they're not going well, then there's so many ways to work on them. And I say work, but it could be. It's really rewarding and it's really fun. So, you know, thanks so much for having me.
Oh, thank you.
Come here and talk with you
And
guys.
thank
It
you
was a
for
lot of
being
fun.
here.
I loved it.
Thanks for your inspiration
I love
and
your
ideas.
show. Silver Linings.
Thank
is so
you.
nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's awesome to have you.
So it's Go Red for Women Day, as I mentioned before, and I have a hard time wearing red, but guess what? Diane gave me some cute red boots to wear, and she's going to give us some great tips on how to wear red, because it's not easy for some of us.
Well, that is so funny, Lynn, because we were going to do this segment and we're like, what are we going to wear? So we're like, I want to wear red. And Lynn's like, but I can't wear red. So I said to Lynn, wait a minute, everybody can wear some shade of red. Do you know how you figure out how to wear red?
I didn't.
Well, one way is check your veins. I usually use my arm. If you see a lot of blue veins, oh, look at yours have a lot of green in them. So you can wear the orange reds, and you have some blue also. There's blue, but I do see some green. I have blue, and see how I have the green here? Okay. And let's see Lynn's. Well, you're mostly the green, I see. There's some blue.
Mostly blue.
You've got a lot of blue, especially that vein. So the ideal thing is, if your veins are very blue, usually you should do a blue-red. And if you've got some green in your veins, then you can do the obvious, you know, the orange reds.
Right.
And if you can't do a whole solid, like I'm wearing a whole solid red dress, you can do things with texture and things that have some shades of red in it. Like Lynn has a striped jacket on, and the stripes in it are pink red, which look really lovely on you, Lynn.
Thank you.
And I love the blouse underneath. Trending is this whole stripes and then do the flowers underneath. Mix and match things. It's really fun to mix it up. And Dina is showing here, she's got I would say it's a blue-red, right? Would you consider that a blue-red? And I love your red lipstick. Some people can wear red lipstick, and there's all kinds of shades of red lipstick as well.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to show you the difference. If you're not sure what an orange red is or what a blue red is, you could tell the difference, I don't know on camera, but this is more of an orange red. And then things with texture sometimes make a difference. This is a suede top, so it's an orange red, which I usually wear the blue reds more, but because it's got texture in it,
Oh, that's really pretty.
it actually really looks pretty. So when I'm styling people, what I like to do is actually have them try it on, because you might be really surprised that you can wear some shades of red or some things red that you didn't know that you could wear. Here is a velvet, again texture, and it's more of a wine red, which would be really pretty on Lynn.
Thank you.
I can tell with her skin tone.
I love this
beautiful.
color. That's a beautiful
color for you. So do you girls have any questions about accessories or red?
I would love to know like how someone can bring red into their wardrobe, say if they are still a little bit apprehensive and maybe feeling that I can't wear a whole red shirt. What little pieces of red could I bring in?
Well, I love the little red clutch you have. I think that that's adorable, because you could have any solid color on, whether it be winter white or black. And I love monochromatic dressing myself, which is all one solid color, and then add a pop of red. I mean, I think that's stunning. Or add a red shoe. Add red cowgirl boots. I love red cowgirl boots. Or you could even do something like, a red journal. Oops, things are falling out. I love red lipstick on a day that's gray and maybe the sun's not out. You put a little red lipstick on, you can just fly out the door, because it does make a difference.
You're ready to take on the world.
Doesn't it change your, it changes your mood, right? Some people can do, we got red belts. And of course, I always coordinate, because I don't know why, I'm a fashion stylist, but I have a red mask, a red and white mask. And then the other thing is you could do a topper, something like a red cape. Maybe you don't want to wear a red dress, but just throw on a red coat or a red topper. It was really fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we want to thank you for being with us today. We are so excited to have you join us. And we ask you to like and subscribe and share our video. And we are on Facebook. And we ask you to join us in all of our platforms to be engaged and involved with us.
And please tune in for the next episode.
Yes.
And don't forget, be positive, but test negative.